I wasn't going to pump his tires. I was going to say, oh man, you look incredible. He's not lean enough. I told him he should diet a few extra weeks. Coach Greg, in today's video, how fat is Larry Wheels and NDO? I tested their body fats, got a workout with them. We're going to get right into it. But first, Greg about to film a reaction on himself. Of course I am. I made a video with Larry Wheels, NDO, and of course I'm going to be reacting and analyzing, do I make any sense? Or am I a moron, just a yap master at the age of 50? I appreciate Greg not pumping that guy's tires on his conditioning. Now, you guys all know I tell it like it is. If I think you're shredded, I'm going to say you're shredded. When I tested Tristan Lee, he had 3.6% body fat on the calipers, and I said, why aren't you competing? He said, you know, it's too much work. I'm like, bro, you could compete tomorrow. You're shredded. There's nothing more to do. In comparison, NWO, he's 6 days out, and I said, my opinion, you're probably 6% body fat. The caliper said he was even higher, but he isn't quite crispy, and I wasn't going to pump his tires. I was going to say, oh man, you look incredible. Yeah, he looks great, but he's not lean enough. I told him he should diet a few extra weeks.
Somebody training harder. Come on, Larry, they say you're comfortable now. They say you got what you need.
I couldn't believe the amount of energy that NDO had, and so in my opinion, it meant he wasn't dieting hard enough. If you have that much energy, there's no way that you're shredded. You're lean, sure, but you're not peeled. Now, granted, he did win his show. I believe it was a Masters competition. But if he wants to take it to the next level and, for example, win the Masters Olympia, he just has to diet a little bit harder. His muscles, massive, skin tight to the body, and so it gives him that extra illusion of size. Not only that, bro has a proper tan, and so clearly his muscles look better than last time. But what he needs to do is to continue the calorie deficit, to eat fewer calories, and extend the diet a little bit longer. He said he was weighing 241 pounds. I said, yeah, you need to weigh 227. NDO reviving Larry's fire and seeing rare Greg lifting is something else. Greg keeping it real with NDO champ is peak. Gless looking taller than last time. HRT Greg is looking healthy. Greg looking like that at 50 is insane. I might have to start hopping on a cardio bike too. Damn, this style of video takes me back, but listening to Greg's advice as you get older, you need to be a little careful of getting tears. W video. Wow, people tearing up watching old man Coach Greg training harder than last time. Greg is currently processing and uploading the reaction video. Greg is having views like crazy lately. He should do collab with every big name out there. Greg needs to do Jeff Nippard's new course. He has no shoulders. And so, guys, this is a mid-physique. In 2025, when you're 50, this is what having no shoulders looks like. And so, unfortunately, guys, I'm not going to up my doses. I'm only going to go on HRT. And I'm using Turk Builder Max. That's the max I'm going to use. I'm not going to use Tren. I'm not going to up the testosterone. And so this is the best that this cyclist who races bikes 7 days a week can look. Now, I understand that the majority of the world have much better shoulders than me, but hey, I'm satisfied with my appearance, and so is Mepsigram.
Yeah, what do you got for the legs? Yeah. Try doing one of these. I think you could diet a couple more weeks still.
Yeah. He's telling me he's competing in 6 days, and I'm thinking, you're not really lean enough to be at your peak. You look aight. Clearly has a lot of muscle. He weighs, I think he said 241 pounds, but he doesn't have the feathers, the striations, the twitches in the muscle. Previously, I tested Tristan Lee's body fat, 3.6%, which was absolutely mind-blowing. I was expecting him to be a bit leaner, and so I just encouraged him, said, you know, do some more cardio, cut the calories a little bit, perhaps diet a few more weeks, and that will get you the condition that you need. I believe he's 241 pounds in a day, waking up at 237, and I said he should be 227 pounds on stage. That would be peeled.
You definitely look close, but I think you can diet like almost everyone can be a little bit leaner.
No,
like
no.
You look at the Olympia Open guys, it's like
my goals are like 237.
You're 240 now?
Yeah.
I'd say 227.
And so essentially I was saying you need to lose 10 more pounds. I know you're close, but Once you're close, you oftentimes have to diet for 3 more weeks. It's shocking, and I know that most people don't like hearing it, but I simply tell them the truth. If you want to be at your best, conditioning wins shows. The hardest part about bodybuilding is getting the muscles that you need to win. The dieting essentially is the easy part. Every single person can get lean.
I competed before there was Retta and terzipatide and GLP-1s and Ozempic and all the secrets. Now I'm like, I feel like now it's easy.
Oh, no kidding.
Like,
so,
are you kidding me? Like, I mean,
I've done Retta just as an experiment a few weeks back to see when I prep for my next show if it would make a meaningful difference. And the way it nukes your appetite is something I've never experienced before.
We talk about the fact that in today's world, you can use Ozempic, GLP-1s, terzipatide, or even retatrutide. Larry Wheels has tried it, says, oh my goodness, what a game changer. Other professional athletes doing the same. Now, if you're interested in getting Ozempic or terzipatide or enclomiphene, whatever it is that you need, please consider going to Algo RX. Doctors prescribe you prescription medications. Remember, it's doctors and it's prescription, it's pharmaceutical, and they're no gatekeeping. Compare the prices. I'm not trying to rip you off. I want you to get the best deal possible. And if you compare Algo RX's prices to, for example, Merrick Health, that's all you need to do. If you see that it's half price at AlgoRx, with which most of it is, then why not get it from them? If you want to get it from Merrick Health because you trust them more there, because you think that somehow that's better, then by all means, do whatever makes you happy. But if you're looking for a very good deal for pharmaceutical medications, not from Bro's Basement or some guy from some sketchy peptide site, no. From a pharmaceutical doctor prescription, then you know where to go. Click the link in the description, Algo RX.
Especially with no compromise to your mood or anything else I can note to mention. And I could go days not eating. I have to force myself to eat.
Yeah, so it's a game changer. I haven't used it, but I'm coaching people who are using it. I'm like, this is a hack.
How hard is it to diet if you can go days without eating? You're not even hungry. Like, how hard is that? What is hard about dieting? I've coached people for decades. I'll tell you what's hard. You're starving. That's the hard part. You're thinking about food you want to eat. And imagine you take a peptide and now you're not hungry. How hard is it? At this point, you're only eating because, well, you like the taste of that burger and fries. Like you just needed that. Like that's like so important to you. Like if you're eating because it tastes so good, well, maybe you're an emotional eater. Maybe you got baggage. Maybe something happened to you when you were 6, 7, whatever. I understand that, but if you can get rid of being starving and only being, let's say, moderately hungry, remember, the lowest dose that makes you happy. I don't think you should reduce your appetite completely. I don't think you should have to force feed, but reduce your appetite from, say, it's an 8 or a 9 out of 10 to a 5 out of 10. That's all you need. Make it normal for you. Some people out there were not born with the best genetics. They're perhaps 300-400 pounds. Now, what you can do is more cardio. The more cardio you do, the easier it's going to be to stay lean. I am not on abusive doses of performance-enhancing drugs. I'm only on HRT, 140 milligrams a week. You all know this. Many of you doubt it. You think I'm lying. Whatever. You're going to say what you're going to say. But what I can say is I'm leaner now than 10 and 15 years ago when I was, in fact, abusing performance-enhancing drugs. I had more muscle then, but I was fatter. Why? Because I do cardio. Cardio is the secret. And so aside from the GLPs, the Ozempics, the fat burners, and so on, what you should be doing is cardio. And if you want improved cardio, GO2 Max. Remember, GO2 Max, it's not just Turk Builder Max that we sell at HLT Supplements. We have a host of variety of supplements that can help you to get to your goals. And so if you're interested, code Greg, 15% off. Click the link in the description.
I'm here with Larry Wheels, and we're going to see how lean is Larry. I'm guessing 10, 9.9.
So I want to say about 11%, but how can you come to that number 9? Like what gives it away visually that I'm 9%?
The fact that you have no fat almost anywhere.
I mean, honestly, it's just from experience and from a guess. I've judged body fats thousands of people. And so when I look at a guy like Larry, I'm seeing a 6-pack when he's talking. I'm seeing some vascularity in his arms, vascularity in his chest. I'm seeing the overall conditioning. I see his back. I see his front. And I can make a general assessment that that is single-digit body fat.
See, there's almost nothing. It's super skinny.
Well,
for an arm that big,
you 2 weeks out, Chip.
And so thank God I'm talking about his body fat. It's not a woman. Never want to hear them say, wow, it's so skinny, there's almost nothing. Now, if you do hear that, You may want to invest in some harder than last time. Code Greg, 15% off. This is for the downstairs.
So you're 8.8%.
8.8. You were close.
I guess 9.9.
And so I guess 9.9% body fat. The Caliper said 8.8%. Now remember, these are all guesses and or estimations. It's not 100% accurate. We can in fact make mistakes, but it's close. It's going to be within a couple percentage points. The only thing that's 100% accurate essentially is the MRI, not an in-body scam and not a DEXA scam. They're scams. DEXA scam is to test bone density. That is what it's for. It does that exceedingly well. In-body scams pretend to guess what body fat you present you are. It guessed that I was 19.8. Do I look like I'm 19.8? I do not think so. They both came out to the exact same amount of millimeters, which means there's the same amount of fat under the skin on both Larry and on NDO. Larry says there's no way that we're the same body fat. But remember, people hold their body fat differently.
Same as Larry?
Yeah.
No way with the same body. There's no way.
Huh?
There's no way with the same body fat.
NDO's skin, I could barely pinch away from his muscle. His skin was so tight on the skin, and so when he flexes, the skin shrink wraps over the muscle and appears to be leaner than he actually is. He has excellent skin quality and very tight skin. The opposite of Coach Greg. My skin, for example, there. See Coach Greg's loose flab? As you get older, you get looser skin. And so the same percent body fat is going to look different on two different individuals. Remember, Mike lost because he never had a proper tan. He was peeled. But because he didn't have a tan like NDO, he didn't look as lean as he was. Had he have had the proper tan, and had they not have under-tanned the living shit out of him, he perhaps would have placed in the top 3, maybe even got a pro card. He got 6th place. And so because NDO at 40 has such amazing skin quality, tight skin shrink wrapped around the muscle, he appears leaner than he actually is. And so imagine if he were truly peeled. The skin fold thickness isn't going to lie. And so if I pinch the skin and there's 8 or 9 millimeters of fat and or skin, whatever, it's blocking the cuts in the detail. The thinner the skin becomes, the more you can see the detail underneath. That makes sense. And so another thing you have to understand is the same skin fold thickness is going to look different on two different people. 3 millimeters of skin on Tristan Lee at 150 pounds is going to look different than 3 millimeters of skin on someone who's 300 pounds. The bigger you are, the more the skin fold thickness can be thicker, but still look peeled. And so as you put on more muscle and you become bigger, the same amount of body fat is actually going to be a lower level of body fat on someone who is bigger. A 300-pound person with 10 pounds of body fat is going to be leaner than a 100-pound person with 10% body fat. The same amount of body fat is spread out over a bigger surface area. Does that make sense? And so Samson Doda, who's 300 pounds compared to Kristen Lee, who's 150 pounds, the same amount of body fat on Samson Doda is going to be half as fat as Tristan Lee. And so, of course, there are measurement error in the skin fold calipers. The larger the individual, the lower their body fat actually would be in comparison to what it states.
Based on your energy, I think you could just get way leaner.
Yeah.
Like you look amazing, but your muscle
if I have like 3 more weeks, I would have probably go down to probably about 225.
NDO himself says, if I had 3 more weeks, I could get down to about 225. He's 237 in the morning, 240 right now. I said he'd probably get down to 227. He's given 3 more weeks, 225. He's 6 days out. He's holding some water. If he takes a diuretic, if he cuts the carbs down, if he gets truly peeled, of course he's going to weigh less. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Please like the video if you liked it. Don't forget to watch one of those 2 bloops. And of course, the cookbooks, the training books, coaching plans by me and my team. The Seco bars, code SECO. AlgoRx code Greg, 10% off. And until next time, I am out.